We are coming live again from day 2 here at Advancing Prefab, and I'm joined by two guys from Windover Construction. Welcome to the show. Thanks for coming.
Thank you so much.
Super excited. Let's start by introducing kind of who you are and what brought you to Advancing Prefab.
Good.
Stuart.
Stuart Meurer, President and CEO of Windover. As you mentioned, we've been here for 4 years, and what brought us here is really the sharing of ideas, meeting other partners that are thinking about innovation, thinking about really changing our industry, industrialized construction. So we really enjoyed all of our time since we've been here.
Yeah, nice.
Amr Raafat from Windover Construction, CIO, Chief Innovation Officer. We focus a lot on innovative solutions that's supporting prefabrication and modular construction. We're excited to discuss this with you today, Todd. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. So, coming kind of halfway through day 2, official day 2 of Advancing Prefab, what is standing out as kind of things to take back home?
It's amazing the passion that everyone has here for prefabrication and offsite construction, and the discussions around all the different solutions. This awareness within the industry is really great to see, and great to see that the numbers in the conference is really, it's getting more and more folks interested in the topic. So it's great to see that.
Yeah, I think my takeaway was with Amy's remarks yesterday, really talking about expected experiences. We've always talked about that. We always know it. It's underlying. We try to be efficient, cost effective, but really trying to understand how workflows can be improved. And I loved her example of ordering pizzas more of an expected experience than it is in anything in construction. So we want to change that.
Yeah, absolutely. I love when Amy starts talking about expected experience, because it's such a great kind of easy nugget to put in your mind, that there's so much stuff that we demand and just expect in our personal lives, but for some reason it's not translating into the construction industry. We put up with so much stuff that we would never tolerate in our personal life. How are you guys at Windover helping to kind of change that expected experience?
So our work with innovative solutions, with laser scanning, BIM, and our in-house expertise with our great supers who are very specialized in how to build the modular and prefab. Our goal is to mitigate risk and making sure there are no surprises on site. So we make sure that we detect any discrepancies early on in the pre-con or even on site through QA/QC. So the goal is to have no surprises on site and mitigate risk early on to set those expectations.
Yes, and so that's how we're implementing some of these solutions, so that we don't have surprises on site, but even going further back during pre-construction and working with not only our clients but our design partners. We have an internal person, and she's just concentrating on ops improvement and continuous improvement when it comes to that. So not only are we looking at our processes within our organization, but we're trying to figure out how we can be more effective with our design partners, because we do a lot of design build work also. So that's what we've been looking at and trying to improve upon every day.
Yeah, interesting. How have you guys won over some of the skeptics along the way, or maybe kind of getting over some of the bumps along the process?
A great example of that would be, is a multi-family building in Canvas in north of Boston, in Beverly, Mass. It won the Global AEC Excellence Awards for Autodesk. The way we did that is, at most of the prefab and modular projects, the on-site components not necessarily align well with prefabbed objects or elements in the factory. So what we did is that we did constant, regular QA/QC, laser scans, and drone LiDAR surveys with ground control points to make sure we're communicating in real time what's built on site versus what's being built in the factory. So we make sure that when those elements arrive on site, they're going to fit perfectly with all the MEB shafts. And that's becoming a standard for our processes in construction.
Yeah, I think the other component to this is we embraced technology about 5 or 6 years ago, like really embraced it. And Amr has been the driver of that force within our organization. And all of our teams come to the VDC group now for solutions. They're looking for opportunities. It's almost like a challenge. They want to see how we can utilize either with the tools or technology that we have to solve those problems. But I think the other big thing is we've embraced technology that it's not just at the beginning of a project to win a project, and the fanciness and the nice pictures and the rendering, things like that, really utilizing it through the whole cycle of a project, all the way through post. We're even utilizing it for post-occupancy commissioning and working with the live model.
Yeah, so that's a huge kind of cultural shift undertaking that I'm sure you guys did 5 years ago to really full on and embrace that. Yeah. What was that process like? Was people super resistant, or were people kind of on board?
The beauty, actually, the beauty of the culture at Windover is that when you go to all our supers and project managers and you tell them we're going to get that approach, it's a leading edge new approach, whether it's for laser scanning or drone surveys or Autodesk takeoff, quantity takeoff model based, even with estimating teams, they embrace it and say, yes, we're going to try it. And we actually don't just talk about it, it's showing by doing. So we start small, example, when it works and successful, we keep building upon it.
I would say that's where we are today, but it's been a journey.
Yeah.
And I would say, looking back, there's always skeptics. There are people that will embrace it, and we, there was a mixed cross section in our organization, but particularly out in the field, and the support teams, they were a little skeptical until the first time that we went out and scanned one of our sites with all the undergrounds prior to putting down and placing our slab, overlaid the model, the coordinated model, understood that there was maybe a couple conflicts. They weren't going to come up into walls. So it's pretty easy to understand when you're moving pipes with a shovel versus a jackhammer that there's something that's a little more effective there.
Right.
And it was like all phones across the whole organization were ringing in the field. Everyone's like, you got to believe, I can't believe this, but it really worked. Yeah. And then sure enough, when the panels came, landed on site, everything fit like a glove. It's good to see, but that was a little bit of a journey for us to get to the point right now of embracement.
Yeah, did you see the light bulb kind of going off when they were looking at it like, oh, that's why we do this?
It's a mindset shift. So it's redefining what is possible in the industry. Yeah. And to Stuart's point, we take this across the whole life cycle of the project. Until we even deliver the project. We actually, right now, collaborating with Autodesk to deliver digital twin to clients, and the clients really love it. We piloted that in a Philips Exeter Academy project. We deliver, it's really transforming the way we hand over projects to clients through giving them all this information, rich data that was accumulated through coordination. It carries over. It doesn't make sense that we stop there. We deliver it to the client as he can use it many years to come to support their future facility maintenance. So that's something also we're excited about, that we carry over to support the owners in an innovative way.
Yeah, for sure. I'm super intrigued by digital twin and the potential there. From your point of view, what do you see is really the kind of the untapped potential of digital twins?
Well, I think right now we're utilizing it with a hologram lenses, and we're utilizing with some of our field teams. Okay. It's not fully integrated in our company yet, but when you can have a superintendent or field staff walk through a site with the model and be able to understand where there's going to be conflicts prior to a fully coordinated model, prior to it going in, and again, trying to avoid those surprises. So that to us is one of the first steps.
Also, clients were what client liked, like for the example of Philips Exeter Academy, is that they give access to that digital twin model to all their on-site facility folks. So in their iPads or at the fingertips of their offices, they have this information-rich data model that they can give them all details about manufacturer information, installation date, and it's a living document. 10 years from now, if they replace an equipment, they can still update it and plug in those data. So we're giving them basically something that will continue to support them for years to come.
What do you think is really possible if we look out 10 years as construction as a whole, at large, for the industry? What's possible? What does the landscape really look like?
This is why I'm intrigued coming here. Off-site or industrialized construction absolutely has to be a part of it, and it's the integration. And everyone's been talking about it for a while, but it's really making sure that the integration of your design at the forefront with the client, all the way from a program and client standpoint, with our design partners and our trade partners and manufacturing partners. That was one continuous flow of information that does not have any gaps. And redundancy too. There's probably more redundancy than there is gaps, and to make that efficient.
Yeah.
And it's more of a connected construction. So it's all about the data and how we utilize it throughout the process. So the more we have, I think the future will be a combination of the digital twin data at the end of the project, the QA/QC in the middle of the project while we build it, the good pre-con model-based estimates and all this good planning for prefab early on in the process, and sustainability studies. all this, when gets connected and carry over from a step to step without losing data, which our new technologies can allow the data to be carried over, because we are building at the end of the day a 3D building. We got to build it from a 3D data, not necessarily from a 2D data. Doesn't make sense. So that's the future of construction, more connected, more data carrying over from where the architect sketch, builds a model throughout the client using it for many years to come.
And being construction managers, we also have to bring in the costs, right, and the scheduling. But having that be a part of this, so that our databases are bringing that in, so that it can be more effective budgeting at the very front, at the forefront of a project. Mm-hmm. There's too many projects that go sideways or backwards because of budget constraints, not being able to hit a certain budget. So we're trying to make that definitely a way that we want to deliver a project in 10 years for certain. Yeah. And then the schedule, because there's always scheduling issues that pop up, particularly right now with supply chain. So how can we understand how off-site constructed material, how long is it truly going to take through their whole system and their supply chain to get it onto a job site?
Mm-hmm. So on the cost side of things, how do you encourage other people to get into the modular space? Because it's a big upfront cost, and traditionally people are so focused on the project costs, where with modular you have to take that longer term view, because you may not save a bunch of money on your first project. Realistically, you probably won't. How do you encourage them to kind of bite that bullet and maybe tweak their mindset on project costs?
So I would love to hear from Stuart. Is a modular component, but also we look at Windover a prefab, more holistic view to it. So we added additive manufacturing, 3D printing, and digital prefabrication to our workflows. For example, we worked on a historic preservation facade, and we did the exact replica of the facade that was falling apart through digital prefabrication and 3D modeling at the Autodesk Technology Center in Boston, using our fusion models. So waiting for long lead items, you can really overcome those challenges, and the shortage of skilled laborers using things like additive manufacturing, which is a big part of the whole the prefabrication holistic view to it. I would love to hear from you.
Yeah, prefabrication is for every project. Volumetric modular might not be for every project, and that's, I think, the heart of your question. And we look at it, and it doesn't always fit, doesn't always work, doesn't always work with the program type, but we do look at it, and it's usually there is absolutely a savings. So there might be some premiums with the construction costs that can be easily offset of saving 3 to 4 months of general conditions or anything to do with the general requirements of the project. And another big thing that we talked about yesterday in our presentation was about we build mostly in the Northeast, so winter and weather tends to have some costs related to it.
Yeah.
And we're concerned about weather delays. Everyone has weather delays, but we have to shovel snow versus just wait. I mean, right. I understand that heavy rains, there's costs associated with that, but yes, we do worry about that. So having the ability to have concurrent on-site and off-site construction is usually an advantage that we talk to our clients about.
Yeah, the weather that's a real thing. I'm in Atlanta, so we don't have the snow problem, but I was up in Montreal a couple weeks ago. It was negative 40. And there was snow just everywhere.
Yeah.
This is a real thing. Construction is totally different up here in Montreal versus how we do it down in Atlanta.
You just have shutdowns.
90 degrees for 3 months out of the year.
Right. Exactly.
From the owner's side of things, where do you see the momentum swinging for modular from an owner's perspective?
I think from an owner standpoint, I think you mentioned earlier about skepticism and making sure that you're getting certain clients to understand what the benefits are.
Yeah.
When I think about volumetric modular versus off-site construction or industrialized construction, when we have clients, we constantly will bring them to other projects. And not only can we show them the end product, and they can get over and understand that actually the level of quality is a higher level, can be a higher level of quality than a site-built building. Mm-hmm. We just talked about weathering, right? Weathering in water and making things watertight, and the circumstances around the trades putting their assemblies together. When you can do it in a factory, we all know that environment is much better. Mm-hmm. So that's one example. And I think making sure that they understand that there is a process at the very beginning, that they have to make decisions and then they have to pencil it down. Mm-hmm. That's usually one of the problems at certain institutions that we work with, academic, they always want to continuously make some changes all the way up, even to the point where they're walking through the site and they go, can I change that door? Well, there's a certain point where pencils are down when it's off-site construction.
Right.
So,
what do you think the biggest misconception is around modular? Maybe from the owner's perspective or just in general?
The expectation that modular has to be like a shoebox or even actually
the ugly cement blocks.
Yeah, right now with all the technology and the comprehensive technology we apply to modular construction, we can really coordinate the most complex geometries, so that gives more freedom for architects who work, our design teams who we love to work with, is to give them flexibility to design. We have one of the projects at Endicott College that if you look at it, you never think this is modular. It's so beautiful to
That's right, there's site components and most of it's a modular project. It was a dormitory.
So the use of technology can really give architects and design teams the flexibility. Also, a part of how we help clients to embrace prefab overall in general is like, for example, we created 1,000 roof truss, 935 roof trusses in 15 hours using HOIC technologies. So technology like this can provide substantial time and cost savings when you look at it differently. So that's why we like to apply this new technology in real projects with schedule and test how it will really provide value for the clients. It's all solution-based to overcome challenges.
Yeah. How are you going about that education to knock down those misconceptions?
Well, we actually just talked about it here at the conference about how these case studies or having these individual opportunities to find these solutions that are new with new technology, it just takes a couple for people to get the confidence.
Yeah.
And that's really what it takes. And then we can all collectively launch. And when I say that, I mean, I'm talking about all the other CMs that we're all utilizing technology and we're all really trying to improve our industry, which needs a little bit of improvement.
Yeah, for sure. So one of our kind of core tenets of the show is around innovation. What does innovation mean to you?
Well, innovation is to redefine constantly what is possible to advance our industry and provide value for the client. So at Windover, for example, our mindset, whether it's in the VDC team or field team or project management, as we work together as one team in harmony, it's all about solution-based. When there is a challenge, constant communication between field and the VDC team, so that innovation carries over throughout the company with everyone. The way we push that is through constant communication. If there is a challenge on the job site, we sit together and we have all these different beautiful technologies that we can be combined to offer a solution to overcome a challenge. Not only to use technology to be cool or but it's always whether saving time, mitigating a risk, solving a problem before even it becomes a problem, or providing value for the clients that they can use many years to come, like the digital twin and the models or things like that. That's innovation, in my opinion.
Yeah, and we're talking about innovation on the ConOps side of our business, but it's one of our organizational goals, and it's a mindset.
Yeah,
right. It's a mindset, and breaking the status quo. We encourage everybody from accounting staff, anybody throughout our organization, they really start to need to think about their processes, how they're doing their day-to-day, and make sure that we're just not going down that road just because we've gone down that road for so many years. So that's what we're pushing it across the organization, and that's what I'm real excited about. So I'm seeing it at all different facets, not just in the cool stuff out in the field.
Yeah. So that mindset shift, I think that's a huge critical component to it of changing the dreaded phrase, we've always done it this way. Just eradicating that from our lexicon and creating the cultural of, no, we're going to try it and attempt it. It may not work, but we're going to learn from why it didn't work and move forward with it. And you learn probably more from failure.
Absolutely.
And when you're trying to innovate something, that's going to tell you a ton.
One of our core values at Windover is take intelligent risks.
Yep.
So we learn by doing. So that's why I love that how we embrace technology in the field, for example, because you do it, you learn from it. Next time it's going to be costing less and it's going to take us less time. So the courage to do that in the field, that's really the key for innovating and keep evolving our industry. Also, the mix between learning from other industries. Like yesterday I attended, there was a keynote about how we learn from other industries. Like at Windover, the same technology we use for 4D animations to tell a story of how we're going to build the project is used by Pixar, for example, 3D Studio Max, to tell a story. We use it to tell a story in our construction. We use software that's used by manufacturing, like Fusion, Inventor, all these different technologies. We apply it for additive manufacturing. So applying other technologies can really, and collaborations with other automotive and robotics and software developers can really push our industry forward.
Yeah. And I appreciate you mentioned that. Two core values that always come together is drive results collaboratively and take intelligent risks. All of our folks need to feel empowered to really step out there and innovate, whatever that might be, but then also bringing it back so that we can do it together. But well said, though, Amr, about our approach.
Yeah, that empowerment is huge, of giving the freedom to go and take those risks. And on the technology side, companies like Autodesk, I think, are doing really awesome work because they have their such a wide reach from entertainment to manufacturing that those technologies and the software is really starting to merge. Those lines are getting real blurry between Inventor to Revit, and even going into the media and entertainment side for sure, which is cool to see. I think that's definitely where the future is headed. It's just a merger of everything. You're just going to have one platform.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So how do people find out more information and connect with you guys?
So, basically, Windover.com if that's what you're looking for. But, we do a lot of work not only in the Northeast or in New England. We're really starting to have a lot of geographical reach. And not only are we bricks and mortar with Windover Construction, but we also have a platform called IDEA. And that's really how we found that we were supporting our own teams and our own projects with all of our technology in our VDC group. We had so many of our design partners or clients or even trade partners are coming to us and say, oh, can we do that? Can we do that on our job? Even though that Windover Construction wasn't on that project. So we found that we have the ability to go out and work with peers, work with design partners, and help them. Usually at the beginning of their projects, which they end up coming back to a construction project for us. But it doesn't matter. We're there to help support. And you want to talk a little bit about your project out in Egypt and Australia?
So we've been collaborating with one of the biggest developers, Amr, in Dubai, and we've been supporting them with cut and fill analysis BIM work. We do also work around the US, in California, in Texas, and in Pennsylvania with using laser scanning, and that's actually extending our leading edge technology to push the industry and support our design partners early on, even before construction starts.
Yeah. Very cool. That's awesome. Well, final question for you both. If I could give you all construction power, you could snap your fingers and innovate one aspect of the industry, what would you choose to innovate?
If we have one to change one thing.
Magic wand.
Thing,
Magic wand.
Pick carefully.
Just one way.
That's right. You guys can coordinate and get two different aspects of it if you want.
I expect that in the very near future, our fellow and friends in the industry will all embrace the technology. I expect that it's growing. The awareness of the innovative solutions I expect it to be even more. These collaborations, also challenges makes opportunities. So we went through COVID and we learned a lot on how we did the schools and partners reached out to Windover to help them with very quick modular construction to respond to COVID. We learned a lot along the way. Processes that usually takes a year or 6 months, we were able to condense it to 4 months to respond to that. So we learned a lot, lessons learned as we go. And I expect that prefab combined with mixed reality and other technologies we talked about, laser scanning, will really help it transform and push the industry forward.
Nice.
My thoughts are a little bit higher. I think we've talked a lot about how the construction industry has not adapted like other industries have. And it's, as you mentioned, it's the way we've always done it. So I think what I would like to do is see how we can transform the industry and pick it in 20 years. There's three characteristics of it that always bubble up to me of the connotation or perception of our industry. One is trustworthy. So transform the industry so people have trust. It has integrity. Another one would be innovative. Okay, we really need to make sure that it's not even a question that construction is an innovative industry. A lot of people question that at this point. And then the other big thing is inclusivity, of people feeling inclusive, and the shift. And it's not just a social shift that I'm talking about. There's a lot of aspects that fall into inclusivity, but that to me is extremely important. And we were talking about it just at this conference, right? How we got to change the makeup of our teams, how we got to change the makeup of our design partners, our clients, and all come together so that it does feel like a complete unit, a collaborative unit. So
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah, no, more than agree with that, for sure. I think the good news is those conversations are happening, and they're happening more and more frequently, which is awesome. And even just looking around the room here at Advancing Prefab, there is a lot more diversity than what there was even 5 years ago.
Yeah.
That people are kind of waking up to construction there's a great opportunity here in the industry, and construction is waking up that we got to change some things as well to make it a much more inclusive place as well too, even down to simple things like what PPE you're providing out.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Awesome. Well, guys, thanks so much for taking the time. I really enjoyed the conversation.
Thank you so much.
Well, we appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for what you do too.
Yeah,
Thank you for
thank you.
this.